little about your work then. Since, some of your books, or what do you do?
I've been writing on and off since I was a kid, and about 10 years ago I was a stay-at-home dad, and I started writing again and got published online and in some small print magazines. Then all of a sudden I got an email asking to publish my books in a collection through Virtual Tales, which supposedly never happens, but it happened to me. And a year later, The Curious Accounts of the Imaginary Friend came out, which is my first collection, and it's, like I said, short stories with a kind of Twilight Zone twist to them, with a bit of an old-fashioned Victorian prose injected into most of those stories too. That's sort of what I'm about and what I do. And since then, I've had 3 more collections, and I just released my latest book, which is the best of Curiously Twisted Tales. And so that's what I'm here promoting and pimping right now. Curiously Twisted Tales by B.S. Gifford.
Who's that published yourself?
That's with Barking Rain. No, I've never self-published. I'm not a fan of self-publishing at this point. But the way the future's going and the things are going, it may be an idea I may dabble with further down the line. But presently, I like to have a nice, good editor behind me and have someone take care of the art and the packaging and marketing for me.
So the genres you write in are primarily horror, science fiction, fantasy?
It's prime dark fiction. It's twisted fiction, basically, and both for adults and also for younger adult market.
So by adult, you mean vulgarity and sex, that kind of stuff, or just
adult, just aimed at over 18. I tend not to use swearing or sex in my stories, and actually, most people over 13 and 14, I'd be comfortable reading the majority of my work. I don't think vulgarity and violence for the sake of effect is needed to tell a good story and to give you goosebumps. I really don't. I think it's often used to excess, and that just watered down everyone's tolerance for that anyhow. So.
Yeah, we tend to agree with that as well.
So I'm a bit old school with my writing style.
So what? But before you got on with the newer publishers with collections, what were some of the publishers that you used prior to? You mentioned there were some. Well,
actually, Virtual Tales morphed into Barking Rain. There was a falling out, and one of the founding partners went off and continued by herself and got a new team of editors. So, yeah.
So since you are a well-published author through a publishing company, what has been some of your challenges that you've had as you've gone through your career to actually get out to the mass market, things like that? Have there been challenges for you, unique things?
Well, it's interesting because writers typically aren't the most social beings. We are more comfortable behind a keyboard, locked in an office, and not actually mingling with fellow human beings, sometimes days at a time. And the hardest thing about trying to make a living at it is it forces you out to do book signings, it forces you out to do conventions. I'll be reading today at 5:30. At 5 o'clock, I'll be a complete nervous wreck, but hopefully at 5:30, no one will ever know. It's really crazy. The thought of it doing it is actually worse when I'm doing it. It just happens. Adrenaline just takes over. I see a few smiling faces looking at me, and it always works out. But 5 minutes before, I'll be ready to throw up. But here I am.
So you're out of LA. You live in LA.
I'm born and raised in England, hence the silly accents, and I live in Orange County, which is jammed between Los Angeles and San Diego, great place to live. Lots of music, lots of theater, lots of culture, so it's a good choice.
Lots of great beaches.
Beaches and mountains, whatever you feel like. You can wake up in the morning and say, hey, I'm going to go swim in the ocean, or hey, I'm going to ride my bike in the mountains. So I think California sometimes gets a bad rap, but I love it. So
is this your first time visiting Utah?
This is my first time in Utah, yes.
What do you think about Utah?
I'm looking forward to my drive out of Utah, only because I get to see the countryside, because I drove in. I left Vegas like 1 o'clock in the morning, and like I said, I got here about 6:30, so I didn't get to see a whole lot of the beautiful countryside. And I wish I was staying an extra day or two so I could actually get out and explore. Because one of the things about conventions is I've been to many cities, and I've seen a lot of hotels, but actually I've been very limited in seeing what the cities and has to offer, which is unfortunate.
Yeah, you could definitely spend several days here and not see everything, especially getting up in the park cities.
I'm actually planning on coming back for vacation probably next year and spend 4 or 5 days here and just enjoy it. So I do, and the people and everything, it's a great city. It's also a beautiful looking city, and the architecture and the culture, it's not what I anticipated, because you have a image of what Salt Lake is going to be through media and that stuff, and it's a great. Nothing was negative. It was more, just wasn't what I expected. It's much better than I anticipated. So I'm thrilled to be here.
Good. So I'm sure you've been asked this a lot this weekend. You'll probably asked a lot more. But what kind of advice would you have for someone who wants to be an author or do something in writing and actually get out there and do it?
Perseverance. Just never give up. And rejection is part of the process. I don't care if you get rejected 100 times. If you want to write, just keep on doing it, and eventually something will happen. If you have the passion in you enough, and you're prepared to do whatever it takes, you will get published. You may not be a bestseller, but you will be published. You will find yourself in print somewhere, and the more you work for it, when you get that first reward, the better it's going to feel. So, yeah, so just keep at it.
Is there anything else you want to talk about?
Like I said, Curiously Twisted Sales, my latest collection, is the best of, and you can visit my website, www.psgifford.com. It's a fun website, very interactive, and hope to see you there.